Hi guys, welcome to the Market Code Breakers. My name is Leon, where I break down one different asset for you every single day, giving you the key levels and the key ranges that you need to pay attention to going into tomorrow's session. Yesterday I broke down the NASDAQ for you and I gave you some key levels on gold. The NASDAQ has been a tricky so-and-so today. It's just been a pain in the backside. I haven't done any trading on the NASDAQ, but I can just tell by its behavior. But I did forewarn you of this in yesterday's video. I gave you two key levels, one at the top, one at the bottom, and I said either one of these could be the top or the bottom of the day. And it just so happens that the level that I gave you yesterday turned out that it was the bottom of the day. Something significant happened in that region, which I'll break it down for you. But you'd have been well expecting price to reach one of these levels and potentially get a reaction from based on the information that I gave to you yesterday. And then following on from that, I said to you, because of what they've done, NASDAQ, the move that they left on the chart, well, the moves that they did on Monday, that they left on the charts, they left nothing to be desired. So they rejected going into higher ranges, they rejected going into lower ranges. So that basically gave us one range that price was going to stay inside of the whole day. And I said that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what happened. I said it might get very tricky, might get very trappy, because they've left no signals of what they're intending to do next. So they need to develop that story. They always develop that story with these ranges and these levels that I give to you. They do present a story via these levels and ranges, and because of Monday they left no story, so there was nowhere really for price to go. They need to start leaving signals on the charts of what they're intending to do, and then we can start understanding, are they going to go up, are they going to go down? They want to go up, but they're probably going to go down first, and we can sort of build that story. But as it stands from yesterday, everything that I said would happen happened. There was trade opportunities based on the levels and the ranges that I gave you, but price action wasn't very great on the NASDAQ. Gold was different. Gold, actually, I'm a funded trader with Top Step, and I've been trading gold for the past couple of days, and I've had a very good couple of days really with gold. But I'm going to break down what I said to you yesterday on the NASDAQ. I'm going to show you the best trade of the day came from the level at the bottom. I'll explain to you how that came into effect and what happened. And then I'm going to break down some gold for you going into tomorrow's session, because I said yesterday, I believe I said it yesterday, that gold is showing signs it wants to go higher. So these are key levels and key areas that you're going to see reactions from. We saw that on gold today, so I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to break down the NASDAQ for you. I'm going to give you some more information of what I expect on both of these assets going into tomorrow. And tomorrow we've got a big news day, so you need to be very careful with what you're doing tomorrow, because like I said, they're showing no signs on the NASDAQ whether they want to go higher or whether they want to go lower. So this could just be a fundamentals day. This could be a day where your fundamentals comes into play and the news just kicks. If the news is good, it could send prices higher. If the news is bad, it could send prices lower. And it could be purely just a day based on fundamentals after the news comes into play. Because like I said, they've left nothing. They've left no readable signals on the charts of what they want to do next, which is rare. I'm so used to seeing them leaving indications of what they want to do. They start planning a move, and it usually takes like a whole week for the move to play out. They start building it. They start leaving signals of that's what they're building. Right now, they're not doing that on the NASDAQ. So right now, you go long or you go short. It's going to be tricky either way. So be very careful with it at the minute. So let's get into the NASDAQ charts, guys. Right. So here we have the NASDAQ. Now, every time I do that, I get a cross on my charts and I don't want it. I did the same thing yesterday. So, based on what happened on Monday, we had price rejecting this higher range, price rejecting this lower range. Let me just explain to you a little bit about these ranges, guys. I work with the correct ranges that the banks and the institutions use, and that's why I'm able to give you this sort of information that gives you accurate predictions of what price is going to do. It gives you accurate entries, accurate targets. It's the whole shebang, because it is the right information that I'm working with. Now, when I'm talking about these ranges, they develop a story via these ranges, right? And sometimes it's just as simple as them rejecting a lower range, saying that we don't want to go any lower, price only goes up from there. And that's how price moves most days. But today on the NASDAQ, I called out that this level here would be the low of the day. Now, they got to it and they broke slightly below this red marker, But when they did, it was significant because what they did is they broke to another level here and they said, no, we don't want to play that range. Price goes up. So it was the low of the day, just it wasn't as accurate as I expected it to be. It started to be accurate and then they was like, no, let's just go and reject that other range. Probably knock some of these guys out of the stops. You'd see it, most people would see that as a stop run. It's not a stop run, guys, because they're just, all they're doing is going down to the next range below, signaling that they don't want to break into it. That's all they've done. So many people have been stopped out in this region. And like I say, there's no such thing as stop runs when you have the right information. So that would have been the best entry and it would have been the trade of the day. Because then price could only move up back into this range. And if anything, it wasn't really going to go much above this point at all. So that's exactly what we got. But as you can see in the New York session just did absolutely nothing. London session did absolutely nothing, moved a little bit higher. Just absolutely nothing, really. And it was what was to be expected based on the information that I gave to you yesterday. So that's the update for NASDAQ. As I see going into tomorrow, we've got a lot of news coming out. Now, I'm a UK trader, so I trade on UK times, and for me, the news comes out at 1:30 in the afternoon. For you guys, I think it might be like 7:30, 8:30 if you're in America. Anywhere, I don't know what time zone you're in, but if you're in America, that's the time it'll be for you. But for me, it's 1:30. So I don't want to be in any trades around that time because I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to be caught out. So I don't recommend being in any trades tomorrow because normally these ranges can tell you what's going to happen. Maybe they might start to tell us what's going to happen before 1:30, and there might be opportunities to get into the move before the news comes out. But I can't tell you if that's going to happen because I'm not seeing anything right now. So yeah. Now, the ranges that I gave to you on the NASDAQ yesterday, nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed, if you want to know the range that I give you, all these levels are key, and they will still be key tomorrow. You'll have to watch yesterday's video. I'll leave a link in the description. You have to click that video and you'll get all these ranges. Now, I'm only going to give you this one range because I didn't give it to you yesterday because, like I said in yesterday's video, they should show no signs that they wanted this purple range. They didn't touch the highs and they didn't touch the bottoms. They just ripped right through it. And every time they went to it, they just crossed right through it. Now, when they're playing a range, you'll get lots of touches of a particular level. And as you can see today, we got a lot of touches from the bottom of this purple range. Now, this I think is going to be key. This is telling me that this purple range is probably going to get cleared tomorrow. Probably going to get cleared. But doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just showing signs that that is probably going to be the case based on how many times they've touched it compared to yesterday. They didn't touch it at all. So I'm expecting that purple range to get cleared. So because of that information, that's the range. That's the extra range that I'm going to give to you based on the NASDAQ. Pay attention to that because I'm fully expecting of it getting cleared. Now, price could rip down again, giving them one more chance of loading up some positions because they know that they're going to clear this purple range. This could end up being the high of the day. Who knows? I've seen this type of behavior before and it actually turned out that was. And what they did, they moved price below us, started to react off one of these lower levels. All of these levels are in the previous video. So these are places where you will see reactions from. Whether it's the reaction that is the move of the day or not, I can't tell you at this stage because it's very unclear. Yesterday, I could very clearly tell you this will probably be the low of the day. This will probably be the high of the day. You know, I can't give you what will be the low and the high of the day tomorrow. I just can't. But anyway, I'm going to give you this purple range. So as always, guys, get your Fibonacci tool. Double click on it. You want 0 tick, 0.5 tick, and 1 tick. The extend line's right. You want to highlight the background. You want to make sure each and every range that I give to you is a different color. You want to make sure all of the ranges that I give to you are marked up on the futures ticker, on the CM, on the COMEX. I use the COMEX ticker in the futures market. These is where you get your accuracy. If you're putting these levels on a different ticker that's not on the futures market, you're not going to have the accuracy. Your levels are not going to match up. Your prices are not going to match up. So I'm going to say to you, price 21,000. Yeah, you put it at 21,000 on yours, and it'll be completely different to where mine is. Because your ticker will be giving you a different price. So make sure all your chart is done on the futures, guys. It's where you get the accuracy. It's where you're able to build the story of price action via these ranges and these levels. So the high of this range is 21,110.50 down to the lows of 20,984. Like I say, I'm fully expecting that range to get cleared. Type of things you're going to expect to see. Perhaps on the start, at the start of Asia, you might get actually breaking down to this and reacting from it and going up and clearing it. That could be how market opens. We don't know. We don't know yet. Price might want to break down from here and start reacting from one of these lower levels. And then when price starts to make its climb, that's probably going to be the target. But let price break down before you do anything. Let it start to show signs that it wants to make that climb. So if you mark off all of these levels that I've been in the previous video, what you will, when it wants to make the climb, what you will see is you'll see a break above to the next one, retrace to it, break above to the next one, retrace to it. You'll start seeing that type of behavior as it makes it climb. So if you've got all of these levels marked off, guys, you can clearly see that when it starts to make that climb. Now, you know that they've shown signals that they want this purple range. So that would be a valid place that price might end up based on that move. But we don't know how they're going to make that move, but I'm just telling you that I think that move is going to happen. So let's talk about Top Step. Now I'm a funded trader with Top Step. I want to talk about gold, sorry. And these are the trades that I placed on gold based on all the information that I gave you yesterday going into today's session. These are the trades that I took on gold. Like I called out for you this range at the bottom, which I'm going to explain to you. And then I took one more trade in the New York session, which was here. Took one more trade in the New York session, which just gave me an extra $200 on top of my account. So I ended the day, this is the profit I ended for the day on both those accounts. The reason they're different is slippage. I got quite a lot of slippage today. But one is 866, the other is 796. So that's been a very good day for me trading gold based on the levels that I gave to you. So I'm going to follow on from that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about gold now and see what we can see that's going to happen going into tomorrow's session. Now, on Monday, we had price breakdown. But before price broke down, it left signs that it's got unfinished business to the upside, right? So the last touches that it gave in this orange range. Now, when they break into a range and they leave it incomplete as they've done here, it's a signal that they're going to go back up for it, because they never leave business incomplete. They never do when it comes to these ranges, but you only have this information if you're working with the right ranges. So they left unfinished business. So that was telling me that gold is going to start making its climb up. But the same that happened with the NASDAQ last week, when I kept saying they keep leaving unfinished business, and every day they'd make go a little bit higher, and they'd go a little bit higher, and every day they was leaving unfinished business. That's what's happened on gold here. They've left unfinished business. But because of how aggressive the drop was, I'm not expecting it to go and get cleared in a single day. That was a crazy drop on gold. It really was. So maybe it's going to be more progressive, like it was on the NASDAQ, where they start to show signs that they want to go higher and then they keep making that climb. As it stands, they're not showing me those signs. However, the highs of the day, what they did, they broke into this blue range, they absolutely cleared it, they went from the highs back down to the lows. This is the type of thing that you get when they're playing a range. So when they're playing a range, you'll get breaking into it, going to the midpoint, back down to the lows, up to the highs, back to the midpoint, back to the highs, back to the lows. That's the type of thing you get when they're playing a range. But in this instance, when they don't really want to go any higher, they'll clear that range and then they'll shift back down. It's the same thing that happened here. Now, yesterday I didn't give you this orange range, and I only marked this orange range off. This comes back. This is a very old range. This goes back to well, it's not actually a very old range. It goes back to Wednesday the 13th of November. And the reason I wanted to see why price broke down a little bit further below this blue range that I gave to you yesterday. And that's all it was. It was just simply completing this orange range. So based on that, guys, I said to you, I'm expecting to see price start making its climb on gold. And it did do that. And that range that I give you, this blue range at the bottom end of price, was very significant, because each time it made its climb, it did something within that range. So so when it first broke into this at the market open, it cleared this range. That was like the first signal when price broke into it, started to make its climb. That was your first signal for the long. The next time it came into it, it got to the midpoint and then climbed up again. Third entry for a long, and the second entry for a long was based on that. And then the third time, it reacted from the highs of that range. That was the final confirmation saying that we are done with that range. And look how precise that reaction was. It was pinpoint. It was one tick. It was the same tick. And that was them saying that we are done with that range. We no longer want to play that range. And then price started to make its climb. So now, on gold, we're in a situation where the highest point they've got, they completed that range. We have had lots of touches at the bottom of this orange range. We've spent a lot of time here, so that tells me that this orange range is going to get cleared in the same way that I said to NASDAQ, that purple range will get cleared tomorrow. This orange range is probably going to get cleared. And then where do we go from there? Do we react from this purple range saying we don't want it, or do we just literally start making that climb? It's very possible, because this represents a huge imbalance on the way down here, that we could rip through this purple range the same way that we ripped through it to the downside. We could rip through it to the upside. The price could really start making a climb. We don't know how it's going to transpire. But based on that information, guys, I'm going to give you that purple range just so you can keep your eyes on that. It starts at 2657.6 down to 2649.6. And then nothing much has changed on the levels that I'm giving to you on gold. Basically, it's all in either yesterday's video or the day before's video. Might be Sunday's video, it might be yesterday's video, but we've stayed in the same area, guys, so there's not much more information I can give you with regards to the levels. They're all in previous videos, so you'll have to go and watch them, I'm afraid, because I don't have the time to break them all down for you again. But yeah, that's basically what I'm expecting from both the NASDAQ and gold tomorrow. I'm both expecting both to make some sort of a climb. How high up that climb goes, I'm not sure. Gold has got further to go than the NASDAQ. I think the NASDAQ, I'm not saying that it won't, but yeah, the NASDAQ's just looking very tricky, whereas I know that gold has got signs on the chart saying we've got unfinished business, and that's the difference. I'm expecting gold to climb higher than the NASDAQ when it starts to make that climb. Might not happen tomorrow. They still might want to consolidate in this region. If they do want to consolidate in this region, then you've got a bunch of levels here that you will get reactions from, guys. There is lots of trade opportunities that will come from these levels that I give to you. So that's everything for this video, guys. If you've liked it, please like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends. Everyone can learn something from this. There's lots of trade. Every day I break down these levels, and you always get the trade opportunity of the day that comes from these levels. Like, it's very rare that that's not happened. I don't think it has happened since I started posting these videos. The trade of the day has come from one of these levels every single day. I can't tell you which one it's going to be specifically every time. Yesterday I could tell you on the NASDAQ because it was clear and obvious to me. But not every day is going to be that clear and obvious. So just pay attention to these levels, guys. Pay attention to these ranges. Which ranges are they playing? Which ranges are they done with? Do they want to go higher? Do they want to go lower? And these ranges and these levels will give you that story. Simple as that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.